Okay, today we're going to talk about inflammation, because what dry fasting does is it reduces and eliminates inflammation. Inflammation is one of those things that I talk about in Neogenesis as one of the primary causes of aging. In fact, it's one of these things where aging is really by user error. If you don't know how to keep the inflammation down and extinguish it, you're just going to wear out your body parts. Inflammaging is a scientific term that talks about low-grade inflammation throughout the body that increases over time as your toxins build up and causes a huge amount of stress on all the other biological systems, like a bowling ball around your foot trying to run a race. It's one of those things that people say, well, it's just an aspect of growing older. Well, no, it's an aspect of user error. The idea here is if you don't know how to reduce inflammation or get rid of it altogether, you're just going to end up burning yourself out from all this dead weight inside your cells that you're dragging around until finally you just drop over. So what dry fasting does, we talked about this in the detoxification video. It does detoxify everything. It takes all this stuff out. A couple of the really nasty ones are the metabolic byproducts of tryptophan and tyrosine, which are needed to make serotonin and melatonin and your adrenal hormones. But if you end up with this stuff that accumulates, it's a CoQ10 mimic. CoQ10 is necessary to provide electrons to get rid of free radicals and all this stuff, which reduces the wear and tear on the mitochondria and the other cells and the cell walls. Otherwise, these free radicals act like acid. They just grab oxygen off of cell walls and tear up the cell wall, just like in your endothelial wall inside the vascular system. If your CRP is high, which your C-reactive protein is high, you've got high inflammation. The way to get rid of that is with serrapeptase and fish oil, on a regular basis to control that, or dry fast. Just turn it off. Just turn it off. Turn off the fire. A lot of things build up in the cells, kind of like if a cell was a house and you have a wood-burning stove in the house, but the wood-burning stove is never cleaned out and it gets congested and the chimney gets stopped up with creosote and the creosote backs it up and you start getting all this smoke and toxic gases into the house. That's kind of what happens with cells with inflammaging. So you need to get rid of that. Of course, dry fasting does that. It gets rid of all that stuff that builds up in the cells, gets rid of these toxins, and especially these critical amino acid metabolic byproducts, because you need to get rid of that because you need actual CoQ10. I bring it back to that because if you've got mimics pretending to be CoQ10, the body doesn't really know the difference. That's why it's called a mimic. And if you have these metabolites that are imitating CoQ10, your body doesn't manufacture enough of it and doesn't think you need a lot because you have plenty apparently, but you really don't. And it just lets the damage happen for not knowing any better. So the idea here is inflammation is one of, if not the most serious threats to life and longevity. It is the major cause of death. Inflammation is involved with everything that is major illnesses, heart attacks, diabetes, all this stuff, inflammation of the pancreas, inflammation of the heart, inflammation of the endothelial wall inside the blood system. You've got to turn that off. Dry fasting, boom, done. Done in 7 days. When you're done though, and you get out of recovery, which takes another week, it's really a 14-day session to fast and unfast, you should make some choice changes, some lifestyle changes. The things you eat, lay off the sugars, which cause the insulin and all the inflammation caused over insulin production. Specific types of foods, seed oils, these things that are really toxic for your mitochondria. The canola oil, as if there's an organic canola oil. There is no organic canola oil. And some of the other seed oils are really, really bad for you. So the idea here is if you need to turn off inflammation, just dry fast. If you want to keep it off, do a lifestyle change. It's really pretty simple. So I'm not asking you to do a lot of stuff, expensive stuff. Drop some of these expensive foods out of your diet which cause inflammation and get rid of inflammation like that with a dry fast. It's really pretty much that easy. Just don't eat, no drink, 5 to 7 days and turn the fires off and you'll live longer. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow about another interesting topic, I'm sure. See you then.